Hello there, everybody. It's after con, so I am a little tired and a little sore, and I might have also gotten sick from con. I hope that's not the case. I hope it's just the changing weather and the fact that I'm sweats. Anyway, I'm not going to be doing duels necessarily, so if you're neither this video or the one next, if you're assuming you're watching both, or if you're watching a playlist, these two vids, I give you here's your gold pass. You want to get sticking around. You're wanting to know how I'm Yu-Gi-Oh-ing in this current cash tier and tier limits world. Just fine, thanks. Actually, as you can see, I made it to diamond. You know what? The wolf should be diamond. There, I said it. Bears are not diamond material. Bears attack everything. Wolves are more focused in their destruction, so the wolves should be diamond. But I'm in platinum, so that's the case, and that's why I'm angry. That's why lions are the masters. Anyway, I wanted to go ahead and take this time to try to use some of the new cards that have come out to maybe upgrade and spruce up my decks. I'm going to show you one of them right now. I won't be releasing the deck list, and I also may be showing you some newly saved some of my newly saved replays, because I will also make funny shorts. I like to get the context behind them and also pause during parts, because, you know. Anyway, my Despian control deck. Now, before someone jumps down my throat, yes, I'm running everyone's favorite tax dragon. I like them. I like the dragons. You can get them too now. And you will have your chance to keep getting them for freezies too. Well, okay, for freezies as in you don't have to craft a card to build the pack to do the stuff. Just get them, right? Actually, yeah, Jamer did send me my third copy of this card. Neat. I could make this card work with my Fire Fist deck, in all honesty. Like, it's a big, like, destruction off track. So, what is this deck? My Despian control deck is my deck where I try to kind of control the board with my Masquerades and Quartzes. A couple of other good monsters to help support this are Mirror Jade, Rebellion, Albion, Friend, Brigand, and Titanclad, as well as the Dust Dragon. I ain't pronouncing that name. Y'all can bite me if you want me to try. However, knowing that I have specific monsters in the deck that I can easily combo into, and so I sometimes want in the grave, I also have decided to include some synchro support in the form of Cyframe Lord Omega, Baron de Fleur, and of course the mother of Summon Skull, Chaos Angel. So, what do all these do for the deck? Well, namely, I'm hoping that they can do a lot. The upgrades I've made to this deck prior to its previous incarnation, which I will show how good it was, I'm really hoping will help me in this new meta sense. And I want to also take a brief moment to talk about how my mindset has also changed since I first started playing Yu-Gi-Oh! In the very beginning compared to now that I'm much older and more experienced, as well as I have a different mindset. So before when I started playing card games, I very much hated effects that cost me something. I didn't like discarding, I didn't like paying life points, I especially hated getting rid of my own monsters, even if it was for a benefit. I was very much like, I want to play the card, I want to play my, I use this, and then you use that, and then I use this. Equip cards were my favorite thing of all time, because I love them. I loved Acts of Despair, I love just slapping things down and big monster, you know? And that's why I ran some of the decks that I did back in the day. I still have, as I remember one of these videos being, my old dark deck, or my Twilight deck, because I was very edgy back then, to darkness. But as of recently, at some point during my card game career, not just for Yu-Gi-Oh, but for card games in general, I very much grew to detest meta, and specifically the meta that very much holds a death grip on the sphere. Why is that? I personally dislike being forced into something. I'm sure a lot of people do, right? But the main thing that I detest the most is when I'm not allowed my creative freedom, right? Either you play this specific deck the specific way, or you're gonna lose, or you're gonna have a bad time, or you're gonna lose more often than not. Losing can be fun. I've had funny losses. I literally lost to someone because I bricked so heavily and could not retaliate. And I could only laugh. Because what else is there to do but just laugh, you know? But recently I started thinking to myself, and a buddy of mine, Izaku, he talked to me a lot about, like, you should really, like, the mindset doesn't help you. By refusing to play those cards out of some sense of pride or something, okay, yeah, congrats, I have my pride, but I also have a loss streak that's in the triple digits now. Who's really having fun here? Is it fun for me to sit down and play every match and then either scoop or quit because I ain't gonna play this match, so I might as well not play at all? Nah. So, I've started giving the new, more meta cards a try. I've even tried the meta archetypes because I've also been restricting myself a lot too, and that's not fair to me. I'm limiting my enjoyment because of, again, some weird bravado or pride. And, again, what does that benefit anyone? If I record it, it's not going to be fun videos because, you know, I'm going to be all Mr. Bitterpants, Mr. Wumpa Wumpa Puss. And if I have to also make sure that I don't let out anything, you know, particularly harsh when I'm in an angry state. You know, like, not that I just become a rampant, horrible machine of just insults and such whenever I'm truly upset or annoyed, but I don't necessarily... A lot of that stuff is just said in the heat of the moment rather than actually meant, and I would like that to not be the case anymore. Anyway, with this personal journey, what is this meant for, like, Yu-Gi-Oh? Well, originally when Sword Souls were very prominent, I liked the design and I liked the name. It was cool sounding, Sword Soul. Think of Soul Calibur or freaking all the other, like, cool things that could entail, right? It's also very good, like, story building, world art. For me personally, a lot of times I liked playing what looked cool over what was meta. I also liked cute things, so Karibo, stuff like that. I'd like to play those things because they're fun. But, you know, also dragons are cool, warriors are cool. For the most part, the only types I really didn't look towards were like fairies and such, but off topic. So, because of all that, I've decided to start trying out more meta things, as you've seen by my defense of Kashtira. Because I also feel like while Kashtira does need some nerfs, I also do like playing it. Because it doesn't have to be the same thing every time. It can still end up there, but there's a whole bunch of small ways, and they can be used as a good engine too, as I saw. The only thing stopping people is they don't want to be seen as the Kashtira players. And something I actually read on a comment too was, you know, you don't want to be seen as the one who plays the thing, you know, or the meta slaves as I call them, when the actual true meta slaves are just the people who frickin' like, only obey meta. Every time the new stuff comes out, it's, what's the new meta thing? What is the deck? How do I make this deck as cheap as possible and as fast as I can? I don't want to be like those people. I do want to use the more meta stuff and more meta archetypes when I'm playing, because I think I can make it fun. That's kind of my goal, is try to make those things fun, not just, you know, oppressive. So where's that lead us to now? It leads us to this. So this is my Despian control deck. I've taken a big chance by putting a lot of my bigger key pieces to 2s, and some of them even 1s, but in the hopes that I can have a better, more consistent deck. So what does this mean now? Now, instead of 3 Despian Tragedies, I run 2. A replacement is Kurikara Divincarnate. You know, to handle some of the meta threats. I still, of course, keep Albez to a 3, because he is Albez. Aluber, I can't say if I'd have 3 copies still. And also his just overwhelming surge power, especially with all the new branded cards that are out. Yeah, I think he should stay at a 2. But if I could have 3, I in a heartbeat, I'd make space for it now. Right? Then we have, you know her. She's in like 3 archetypes at this point. So she's here as both a tuner and as, you know, herself to facilitate plays. Then we have a pick that I think might be very unconventional. Albez the Action. I mostly like him because he's just easy to summon and he can be super juiced up. Oh boy, have I grown to really love and respect this card. Following that up, we have Blazing Cartesia. We've run a 2 of. Again, very nice that she's a tuner on top of being able to do all this other great stuff. Then we have the Beast Shields, of which I've only put 5 total. But I think that, well, first off, they help me get out Angel and Baron. Although, to be fair, 2 tragedies, or even tragedy Div Incarnate can also kind of help with that stuff too. Anyway. We of course put in Magma and Drew Swarm. We put in Saranar as well for just in case. And we're going with 2 Lubellions just for also his search effect, and because Lubellion's cool. He's cool, he's a cool card, I like him. And then lastly, we have the Darmaturge. And he's just here because, again, little lockouts. And, oh, you've summoned an XYZ Synchro Link Fusion? Negate. And again, it's negate 1 effect monster on the field. So anything is a target. And that could also help me out a lot. Well, any effect monster is a target, which can help out a lot if there's something annoying that they're trying to do, right? And then we get into my spells and traps. Now, this is probably where I've evolved the most as a player, because I have a lot more stuff. Again, even things that would destroy my own opponents, I would sometimes shy away from, because I'm like, why would I want to do that when I could just beat them over the head with a stronger monster? No, bad heroic. We don't do that. I also wonder if that's effect. Oh, I need to see if something's rolled out yet. While we try to remain on topic. I have 1 Harpies because Harpies is an obvious thing. I have 1 Triple Tactics Talent, which I didn't think I'd actually ever run in here because I wanted to keep things more consistent. But with the limiting and with the super limiting of my branded Beast Shields and Albaz cards, obviously I've had to make space. Well, I've had extra space. Next up, we have 1 branded fusion because that's all that would allow. I will still keep the most I will ever dust if I'm forced to is 1, because I would still want 2 branded fusions. Period. Next, we have 2 Triple Tactics Thrust. Now, this I actually did not think would be an amazing card for me until I realized it searches out any spell or trap. Period. You activate a Maxi on my turn? Hey, thanks, Chief. Now I can play through your turn with confidence that I have everything I need. Oh, you Ash Blossom one of my search effects? Awesome! I'm gonna now search out something even more deadly than what you just stopped. And I think, I'm super pleased that Chamber actually got me a 3rd copy of this card when he was doing the pulls for me. That was much love, brother. Next up is, of course, the Theater. I sometimes think I can drop this down to 1, but I really just don't want to chance it. Mostly because its effect is just good. Being able to fuse, period, is nice. And while some may argue I could just drop both of these, put in Cartesia, and then have just an easy search for her instead, I feel safer having this because it's also just another target I can use for a looper. And people are less likely to want to pop this than they are like any of my other spells and traps. Speaking of, there's also Branded Lost, of which I only have the 1 copy of, so that's why I only have 1 of. I would 100% drop a Theater for another Branded Lost, just because it also gets popped so frequently. 2 Branded Regains, 2 Decisive Battle of Gongola, also known as the Great Sand Sea Golgonda. Why am I saying that so weird? I don't read. I'm a Yu-Gi-Oh player, alright. This isn't here simply to start, well, because it pairs nicely with Albaz the Ashen. And these 2 are, I just love the fact when people don't read and they're like, haha! Well, they use up a lot more resources than they would normally have to in order to get rid of my stuff, so they're forced into playing things. Next up is, of course, the 2 branded openings, because they're also just good protections for all of the freaking fusion cards I have. Which is nice to have. And 1 Brandon in High Spirits, just because of I love throwing this card away. I don't know how to use it. I don't know if I ever use it correctly. Maybe I could put in 2 if it was some, again, like if I dropped both of my theaters and put in a 3rd Cartesian and then another one of this, just to make sure I can pull it out. Right? Oh wait, discard the revealed monster. If you do, yeah, add 1 Fallen of Albaz or 1 monster that mentions it. It could be super clutch to help get her out and make things more consistent, but I just feel like, I don't know, maybe I'm holding on to it, and maybe again it's more old me thought, but we have 1 Brandon in red just because it's very fun to, on my opponent's turn, bring back a card and then get out another one of my fusions. Or again, it's good to help dodge things. You know, 1 Infinite Imperm, because sometimes when I've drawn this card, when I don't need it, I very quickly decided that eating my beard sounds like a more fun time than playing the rest of the match. And then 2 Branded Punishment, which I did not realize how clutch this could actually be. Mostly because I just didn't read the secondary effect or really picture scenarios where it could work. But hey, it worked. And I'm happy with it, and that's why it's here. Moving on to the extra deck. Obviously, you want to have the Albaz Shuffle, where you have like 3 different things that you can use for Albaz for just in case you're not playing light or dark monsters. So 2,500 or more attack, level 8 or higher, or a special summon monster this turn. A lot of fun that can be had there. You of course have the 1 Albion, although I would not be opposed to putting in 2. Sorry about that. Little something with my table. Next up is the 1. I don't know how to say it, but I like him too. He's cool. She's cool. Correction. At least I think it's she. I don't know. It's a living suit of armor. It can define itself as it wishes. It's just good for putting cards in the graveyard that I want there already, or that I can use to again bring back later with other effects. Of course, the 2 Tax Dragons, because it's always funny to watch someone burn themselves to death, and then bring them right back as a body if I need to. Let me see. Oh, that's okay. No, I understood how I lost now. Okay, I now fully understand the card after using it for so long. There's of course Mirror Jade, because Mirror Jade's always funny. There's Lubellion, because, you know, he helps a lot. Of course, the Dust Dragon, who again, I can see a number of ways that she can be super useful and helpful. We of course have Psy-Frame Lord Omega as a nice support, just to start banishing things from the field face up. Oh, and 1 random card from your opponent's hand. Yeah, there's a lot of usefulness to Omega here. I'm actually kind of glad I thought to put him in. We of course have the Baron herself. And of course the lovely lady is here. You know her, you've seen her before. And then there's the 2 Chaos Angels. I considered dropping it down to 1 and maybe throwing in my 3rd Tax Dragon for giggles. But I kind of like having her here. And of course she works beautifully with this deck. Albaz may be dark, but, you know, we have Cartesia and Ecclesia, who can just very easily pair off with any of the 3 Bestials, which again, 3 Synchros, 3 Bestials. And the Bestials can also be searched out through their own effects. I've thought of a bunch of ways that could be fun. And also, if you're thinking the super long term, if I go through my whole deck and neither me nor my opponent have died, something is wrong with our decks. But yeah, this is the updated deck, and what I wanted to do with these 2 videos was I wanted to start upgrading my decks with more meta cards and meta staples, like Triple Tactics, like Kurikara, and just ignoring the nonsense that comes from having bravado from like, well, I'll never play Baron. And okay, have fun as I use my Baron to attack you directly after having stopped something you did. And she's protected once because of Decisive Battle, so yeah. That's going to be the gist of it, mostly because I do just want to relax. It's been a long weekend, a fun weekend, but it's still long. So, next video will be just fixing up some cards and maybe showing off some of my key secrets that I didn't want to reveal. But until then, I want to thank you all for watching. I do hope you enjoyed the video. If you liked it, you know what to do. Much appreciate you if you do. And until next one, I just want to say, laters.